Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Tessa-Marie show. How are you doing this evening? It's Thursday, and it's on Thursdays we are talking about the pillars of spirituality. But we are talking about the 5 pillars tonight. And what I wanted to do was to bring you on and have you see how wonderful the pillars are for you. These pillars will always be there for you. It's up to you though to be able to catch it, harness it, and get ready to use it. Hi. So tonight the pillar of spiritual prosperity is the one, but all the pillars are needed for you to live a fulfilled life. Fulfillment in life, as I always tell you, is not something you find on the street. It's not something somebody's going to hand you. It's not something you're going to get from your job. It's not something you're going to get from your religion or your belief or in that religion. Fulfillment in life is something you create using the 5 pillars of prosperity. They all have to work together. And if they do not work together, you will not be able to get them. I have to put this on. So just to break the noise off. So the 5 pillars of prosperity are the key to living a fulfilled life. Sometimes you might say, well, my life is really good and I'm not following the 5 pillars. Yes, but when you take the 5 pillars in, it makes it even more powerful. Because with the 5 pillars, you'll be very conscious when you wake up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, you will see that life is waiting for you. You need to be prosperous. You will be using something that will make you feel, wow, I do have a chance. I do have an opportunity. So if you are not aware of what the 5 pillars of prosperity are, let's recap them. The 5 pillars with no order of importance. One is not greater than the other. Mental health prosperity, emotional prosperity, physical prosperity, spiritual prosperity, financial prosperity. For those of you who don't know, I started these 5 pillars, and those of you who don't know, those 5 pillars didn't exist. But for a human being that came to me crying about their financial situation, it was a man. I studied him, I worked with him, I helped him, and then one day, like a light bulb went on, through observation and helping and tuning in, I found out it wasn't financial. The cause of his problem was emotional destruction. It came to him through his wife, who didn't know herself when I talked with her that yes, what she was doing was affecting him emotionally. She was bringing in the larger of the 2 incomes, and his income was smaller, and he was still struggling to get into his school for accounting and doing his things, and it was just very difficult. But she made him feel like, you know what, I am better. I'm going to be a vice principal. I'm going to be this, and I am making that big income. And he got smaller. And they didn't even know what was the thing that they did that destroyed him. Her family had a contract to clean Home Depot at night. So she told him, if you want to make more money, why don't you go work with my parents cleaning Home Depot at night? And he did that. So he's working at trying to go into school and also working at a job to be a chartered accountant. And then he's working at Home Depot wiping floors. Can you imagine what's happening to that human mind? So he was so depressed about it. But he thought it was because he wasn't bringing in as much money as her it's all about money. And then it was not. Emotionally, he felt weak. He was down. He was weighted down. He couldn't manage it. So I took him from there and I brought him to the other part of his life and sought it out with him. It took a while. I had to bring her in the picture, explain the situation to them, and they worked it out. And she did not do it purposely. It was just something she thought it was okay to, she didn't mean anything. But she was playing with a very, very fragile ego. So that's how I started with the pillars. And then I found out through working with them, not only them, others, that when somebody comes to me and they tell me my finances is in a mess, I find out it could be their spiritual life that's in a mess. We did that last week. Because spiritual is part of where the scripture tells you that the poor man will get to heaven, the rich man won't get to heaven. People thought, a lot of people do that, and they will tell you plain blank, they block riches from coming their way. They're afraid to be wealthy because of that. But the spiritual part of it is not only that little part. It's not because the man was rich he couldn't get into heaven. It was because of his behavior. So this is why the 5 pillars came being. Implementing those things, putting them in your life, making them work for you, which is this week. We said the 5 pillars of prosperity, and you, not your friend, not your sister, not your brother. And as I tell you, I am on a mission to see that everybody that I encounter lives a fulfilled life. A fulfilled life begins with owning your own home, driving the car of your choice, going on several vacations a year, and then always be debt-free, and especially when you're coming towards the end of your actual physical working career, you are debt-free. That doesn't mean you stop functioning. That doesn't mean you're not able to do things, but you are no longer bound to 9 to 5 or have a job. Your money can be working while you're asleep. And then you can step out into the world and do the things you want to do. And still have the freedom that you could use a credit card, but you will pay it off. So that's what a fulfilled life is all about. So spirituality and you is knowing who you are, knowing the blessings that you have received, but name them. Blessing is an umbrella. It has little things underneath: talents, gift, good health, financial stability, ability to function, ability to learn, ability to see. These are blessings under the umbrella. So when somebody says, I am blessed, you need to say to them, with what? What is the gifts and talents you are blessed with? So that is your spiritual prosperity is just about you. You press the button. Somebody did not grab you by the hand and press your hand on the button to come to me tonight. So you the one that needs to hear this. Your spirituality doesn't mean you have to be in a church Monday to Friday 5 times a week, and on Sundays 6 times on the weekend. Your spirituality for you might be something entirely different. It's your spirituality. That's why it is spirituality and you, the 5 pillars and you. Thursday night we talk about just the spirituality and you, not your friend. So you who needs to hear this tonight is here. I know there is more than one of you, but there is one of you who needs to understand your spiritual prosperity is a personal thing. It does not belong to your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your neighbor, your best friend, your great-grandfather. No. It's your decision, you and your spirituality. And it doesn't come under the banner of a religion with dogmas and rites. To be a spiritual being, you have to understand that we all have the same choice as you to be spiritually as we want to be, and you can be yours and I can be mine. We can come together and celebrate everything together. But our spiritual life, our spiritual prosperity belongs to us and only to us alone. You do not have to follow the dogma of others or the rites that they practice. Within all of these several ways of spirituality, there is a spot for you that you choose, you create, you make, you use for yourself. As you have heard me say, there was a time we worshiped the moon, the stars, the mountains, the trees, the river, the ocean. There was a time we looked at all of these things that were bigger and greater than us and we worshiped them. Therefore, our spirituality is personal. Because you do not follow a traditional religion, that does not mean you're not a spiritual being. You came as a spiritual being. You're having an experience as a human being, but your spirit was formed before you. Before you took form of flesh, you became a spiritual being before that. And you have a choice. You do not have to follow the dogmas or the rites of others. To be a spiritual being is to accept people for who they are. See them as another person with choices and decisions that they make that will affect their life in the way they choose to let it affect their life. You have to let others live their spiritual life. Someone else's opinion about your spirituality should not at all affect you. Anybody's opinion about your spiritual prosperity is their opinion. Why are you letting it affect you? That is letting somebody's feelings and their thoughts and their way of speaking affect you. That's giving them control over you. And nobody has to do that. You are not supposed to do that. You are supposed to be that wonderful, amazing spiritual being that you are meant to be and enjoying it. When you are spiritually prosperous, you are going to find that you will change. You will grow spiritually. You will find a different feeling about things. You will enjoy the process with no strings attached. The process of life will flow for you with no strings attached. You think that's not hard to do? It is. But once you capture the essence of the pillar of spirituality, the small things that would usually get you going or got you frustrated, like, you will stop seeing them as a frustration. Once you have that spiritual being, some people use it to say the universe has got my back. Whatever you say, when you start to feel this, you will no longer be held hostage by the beliefs of others. You will no longer be held hostage that if you do not give all you can to the poor, you're going to go to hell. You are not going to be held hostage by you need to go to church 50 times a week or else you're going to hell. You are not going to be held hostage by somebody stepping on your toe, insulting you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and you're turning back and saying, do it again. No, you won't. You will not be held hostage by that. When you become a true spiritual, prosperous human being, you're going to shake it off. You're not going to try to change them to see it from your point of view. That's what they are trying to do to you. So two rights is not going to be coming out anything but right, but we know for sure that two people that are wrong is not going to come right either. It's still going to stay wrong. So you're not going to fight them. You're going to accept their behavior. And in a case like this, sometimes you pity them. Sometimes you feel so sorry that they cannot see that what you're trying to do to me, it will not happen. Your feelings, your beliefs about my prosperity, about my way I'm looking at the spiritual pillar of prosperity does not matter. I am not going to step on your toe because you stepped on mine, and I'm going to tell you to get off. I'm going to tell you no more. I'm going to walk away and leave you standing there because I am spiritually free. I am not going to be held hostage by you and your beliefs and your actions and your ways of speaking any longer. That is why it's called spiritual prosperity and you. Just you. That is something you need to hold dear. That is something you need to hold deep within you and do not let others spit on it, walk on it, punch it around. If you believe in a God, then it's between you and that person, that God, that being you believe in. Right? It's not between you and your friend who believes in something else or another behavior. I know people who tell me that the God they worship is a mean God. They tell you he's going to destroy you and bring fire and brimstone unless you do this and unless you do that. And I said, really? I said, what a mean God you worship. And when I said that, they don't understand. Those people who criticize you, when they do, and especially when they're religious and they carry their Bible tight like this and they're so religious and they have it in them and only they are going to heaven. When they come to you and they say things to you and they criticize you, but on the other hand, they are praying, but they're criticizing. So I had to stop somebody the other day and I said, you know, you're criticizing that young lady to me. I know her, you know her, you're criticizing her to me. And you're praying. So what you're saying to the God you worship is that you are such a good creator. Look at how you created me. I am perfect. Everything about me is perfect. What was when you criticized this young lady, I said, you are saying to that same God, you didn't do a good job. You messed up. I said, think about what you're doing. You have to be really, really mental to realize what you're doing. You are saying bad things about something this person has nothing she can change about it. That is how it is. This is the first time I'm talking about this. I said, that is how it is. She did not do them this way. She did not create herself. She did not take clay and make herself. And you are criticizing her, but you are believing in a God of creation. So what you're saying, you are perfect. He did a great job when he made you, but when he made her, he failed. And there was silence. Silence on their side. And I said, that's something you must think about. When you open that mouth of yours and you criticize others, you are truly only criticizing yourself. You are not criticizing them. Furthermore, if they believe they're just as faithful and wonderful as they feel they should be, then guess what? Your criticism is a boomerang. And if you ever got a boomerang from an Aborigine in Australia and you're taught how to throw it, duck, because boy, it's coming at you. And that's what I had to say. When you criticize another human being like this, that they're physical, mental, they cannot sing like you, they cannot pray like you, they cannot do this like you, they cannot walk like you, they're not as this as you, they're not as curvy as you, they're not as slim as you, they're not as beautiful as you, their nose is too big, their lips is too big, this is too this, they're too short, they're too small, their hands are too big. You are only criticizing your God that created them. The God you said you believe in. And you're only criticizing yourself. So what you need to know, the pillar of spirituality, once you get to understand it, when people come to talk to you about those things, you'll just brush them off. You literally just off with your head, done with this. Because what they're saying is absolute, utter rubbish. Nothing else, just plain rubbish. That's what they're speaking. And that rubbish is heaping on their head. So if they have that whole pile of rubbish on top of them, can they move? Will their mind ever clear? Will they ever respect the God they so-called worship? So your spiritual thing is you. When you get that, people like that will mean nothing. I could have sat there and listened to that, but that is not in alignment with who I am. It's not in alignment with me at all. To be silent, I am saying it's okay to discuss those things with me. I couldn't be silent. I could not be silent. Silence give consent. Silence gives consent. When something is not what you know about or you wish to discuss or you care to get involved with, and you let the person pong it in your head over and over and you say nothing, you are consenting. You are giving them permission to keep doing it. But I couldn't. I stopped. I said, no, I don't want them to hear this. You don't do this. This is not what you're supposed to do. But I had to have a strong spiritual foundation for me to stand up and say, and to question them. You are telling me you are perfectly formed, but this other person is not. Yet you fully know and you believe in creation. You for sure do not believe in Darwin's theory that we came from apes, right? And you are criticizing the God that made this person according to you in their image and likeness. And I said, not according to me, according to you. And that stopped them. Oh, you are just, I know I am not just anything. The minute they say, oh, you are just, I said, don't go there. Because I am not just anything. I am specifically made, well planted, formed to survive, intentionally made to be here at this time to do this. So I am not a just. I am magnificently created. And I stop. Again, I stop. So the pillar of spiritual prosperity lightens the load. The behavior and the opinion of others, it lightens the load. And you know, you are ready to just take them on and say to them, no. Your opinion and your behavior is not in a line with me and mine. Therefore, it is time we say goodbye. That's what the strength of spirituality tells you. You look at the situation. Is it a job? Are they paying your way? Do you need the experience to move further? If you have to eat because of that person, then you need to take your time and get better at what you do and work your way out of there. But if that person is just somebody that talks for talking's sake and have an opinion that they would like to put on top of your head, you don't have to take it. They're not paying your rent. They're not giving you permission to turn on your stove. They're not going to use your debit card. They're not loading your debit card with money. Then why do this? So this is what your spiritual prosperity, the strength of it will make you be stronger, and you will see them from where they are. You will see them by their words. It tells you that in scriptures. You will know them by their words, by their actions, their thoughts. You will know them. And that is what is unique about spiritual prosperity. It equips you to take others with a grain of salt. Or take them and just leave them where they are. And even if you are in a job where this is happening, you don't walk away. You dig deep. And you strengthen your emotional prosperity. You nurture your mental prosperity by learning a new skill, taking a new job. You of course, call on your spiritual contact. You keep yourself physically fit. And you save every penny you have, using the 5 pillars to eject you from that job into a better job. So you need the 5 pillars. We know that. We talk about them every night. 5 fingers will hold the glass. 4 fingers will drop the glass. 5, hold the glass. 4, drop the glass. That's what we do. So we have to make sure we grasp it and use the 5 pillars to make you the magnificent you. Use the 5 pillars for you to be the person you came into this world to